start this video, we're going to play a little game of Where's Waldo, except it's Where's Alex. See if you can find me behind one of these trees or in the snow. Am I up in a tree? Maybe I'm invisible. Boo! I'm just kidding. Welcome to the video, guys. Out here in nature again. Very peaceful. In my element, as you'd say. I hope everybody's doing well. And I hope this video finds you in a good place. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday, as they call it. And I'd like to talk about division and separation in a sense. This illusion of a separate world, the illusion of the divided world, is very strong. And I almost believe that, well, from my point of view, that everything within it is set up to create division. It is set up based on separation. From the jobs, the social media, the countries, the politics, the schools, everything. If you take a glance at it, it just seems so separate and divided. And we know that there's a lot of division in the world right now. There's a lot. It's actually very sad. It's actually sad that we don't notice how close we actually are to everyone and everything, even the world itself. And that there really is no separation or division. And that's all just imagined. Let's take a moment to start this lesson off and look at what is being perceived. I think conventional thinking, well, I'm speaking from my point of view, and I believe most of ours, but maybe not, is that we see a separate world with separate individuals, and this world is happening to us, and we are in the world operating, making things happen. And that's how we suffer from the so-called separate world. We suffer when things don't go our perceived way. We suffer when our perceived standards are not met. We suffer when a separate individual bothers us. That can go into many different avenues. We can be bothered in so many different ways. But if we take a look, if we take an honest look within experience, not what we've been told, not what has been believed, you have to be willing to question everything you have ever known or believed. Everything that everybody tells you and teaches you. And just look within experience and see if you can find that separation. Can you actually find the division? I know there is division. And there's many things that divide us. Politics is a strong one. Makes us seem like we are so separated, and so much hate can be generated from that. It's very nasty. It's sad. It's very sad. I believe if we actually knew that we were all one of the same shared being, that there would be no wars and there would be no hate, because we would all be pure love. But let's take a look at it experientially. Look into your experience, and I'll look into mine. And we see that there's a believed separate world and believed people that are separate as well. Believed objects that are separate as well. But where is all of this stuff actually located? Well, if I look in my experience, I find this believed separate world, the believed separate objects, and the believed separate people to all be in the exact same space. Now sit with that for a moment. Wouldn't you believe that really genuinely separated things would be in a different space? But we have what we call Earth, even the solar system, all of that, other planets, animals, objects, people, and yourself, all within the exact same space. In the exact same space. Do you notice that? In the exact same space. I cannot find anything within experience where these things are not all here. Always. So maybe we can say that everything and everyone has one thing in common. And that is a shared space. Now, what is this shared space made of? If we take a look, I'm going to look right now into my experience. The shared space in which everything and everyone, what is it made of? I guess you could call it existence, being, but I like to say knowing. A knowing space. Call it whatever you like. But I would dare to say that everything and everyone, everything we believe to be so solid on its own, really is in this same knowing space. In that these things do not exist on their own without this knowing space. Even the body. This body, this form, is within the same knowing space as these so-called trees. They share the same space. They are not separated. There is a sensation of form, and just like this tree, the same space. Do you guys see that in your experience as well? The same knowing space. Have these things been found on their own to exist without a knowing space? Does a tree exist on its own without this space? Does Earth exist on its own without the knowing space? I'm just looking at experience. I am not trying to be a scientist. I'm just letting my experience tell me. So what is that no? So we have determined that there is a space that is made of knowing. I'm just using my terms. Don't worry about the terms. Let it point you to your experience. A space that ties everything together that is made of knowing. Now, let's look at the believed individuals that I would say that conventional thinking, and I know that most of my life I have thought this way, that we have our own separated consciousness or separated life. But if we look deeper, and I'm talking about everybody, okay? Imagine the most different person from yourself halfway across the world, and that person shares something with you that we all share. Now, we may believe that we are all separated, and there is truth to that we are all having different experiences. Right now, my current experience is of snow, nature, trees, wind, video cameras, and hearing. There are, I don't know how many people there are in what the population of the world is, but whatever it is, there are those many different experiences going on. Personal experiences, that's true. I don't know anyone else's experience except mine. That is true. That is what experience tells me. I can't know anything else but this. But if you take away all of the changing, all of the objective traits, so let's take away the personal experience that everyone is having. Let's take away thought, and everything that you can describe. And what would be left is that we all share a similar knowing. We all share a similar knowing presence. There is something that we do not work for, that we do not turn on, that we do not have to find. It allows us to know this so-called separation. If I were to ask you, are you aware? Are you aware right now? You would know instantly that yes, you are. You don't have to look to a thought. You don't have to look to an object. You don't have to look to a sensation. You simply know that you are aware. And I suggest that if you were to ask anybody that, their answer would be simply yes. No matter how different their culture was, they looked, or acted from you. So with everything taken away, I find a shared knowing awareness that we all, every single one of us, share to know all of this separate stuff. So when you look at all of that, I can't find any separation. Everything is purely known by all of us. And the knowing has no traits, describable traits. It is not a body. It is not a person. It is not a color. It is not a male or a female. It has no location. It just simply is. That is the most, describing it doesn't even do it justice. You can never describe it, but it is the most freeing and peaceful understanding. And there's nothing to see with the mind. See it with an experience. You never have to go far, and we all share it. We'll talk again soon, guys. Take care. I made a little bit of a longer video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stayed tuned through this whole video. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.